All right, we're back again. Fox 10 Talk Sports pregame. Robby Baker, Blake Niemann. We have plenty of sports headlines to get to. We got some big ASU hockey coming up on Fox 10 tonight. ASU trying to bounce back after being swept at home against. They were 3 at the time. I think they may be, or 4 at the time. I think they may be up to 3rd now. North Dakota. That was a tough weekend series for the Sun Devils, but they have a chance to rebound. You can watch on Fox 10 tonight, 7 o'clock puck drop, Colorado College and ASU. That game on the road up in Colorado for the Sun Devils. We are going to start today, though, with something a little different. I made Blake wait as we made the long walk over to the streaming studio. It is Mardi Gras season in the South. I previously worked in Mobile, Alabama before coming here back home to Phoenix, Arizona, and I got very into the Mardi Gras season, the festiveness of it and everything. It's an amazing time in the South. One of the staples of the Mardi Gras time is king cake. This is we went for a modest piece for Blake to start, but Blake will understand. Blake will understand that once he has a piece, the whole cake will go very quickly in the sports office. This is courtesy of my parents, by the way. Shout out Bob and Lisa. They got this from Louisiana, shipped to us. What is the review of the king cake, Blake?
I didn't know it had a filling.
It's a little cream cheese. You got a little cream cheese in there.
Yeah.
Some icing.
I'm a foodie, so yeah, this is a bomb. This is good.
Yeah,
Man.
king cake. It's kind of like it's like if a croissant and a donut kind of like had a baby, but it was also filled with cream cheese and sugar and icing. It's basically just a sugar bomb, but it's delicious.
I mean, that's me. If you know me in the sports office, I'd be eating sugar all the time.
Blake knows where all the. You did say. Oh yes, yeah. Our Obi, our producer. Yeah, I don't know if this one. Well, we haven't found it yet, but there also usually is like a plastic baby, like a little Mardi Gras baby in there. And if you find the baby, the tradition is then you buy the next king cake for your office or your home or whatever, and that's how the
I think
king cakes
I'd have a tough
perpetuate
time
throughout
finding
the,
king cake in Phoenix. So shout out your parents.
Oh yeah, no, shout out Bob and Lisa. They so this one came from Louisiana from their friends sent it to them, but my mom had also bought some, but because of the weather, it's kind of stuck. I think it's in Houston right now is what the shipping said. So we're going to have king cake coming at various rounds here. So prepare yourself, Blake. There's more sugary treats coming.
I'm ready for it.
So that was your Fox 10 Talk Sports pregame Mardi Gras education for
there you go
the afternoon
for those who celebrate.
Yeah, there you go.
If we got any viewers down south.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about Mardi Gras. It's like you asked if it was a place because you didn't understand the South.
I did not understand.
I said it's more of a state of mind. You know, Mardi Gras season is just it's just a vibe, as the kids would say.
I like it. It's a vibe. I rock with
music, drinks, some king cake. It's a good time. Also a good time. Certain parts of the Phoenix sports scene. We will talk ASU because that's kind of what we're leading into tonight. But I would be remiss if we did not discuss Dylan the Villain Brooks at the top of our show.
Yeah.
A 40 burger. He had his career high 38 points by the third quarter last night. He only scored 2 more points in the fourth to get it to 40 because they really didn't need him to play much in the fourth quarter because without Devin Booker, without Jalen Green, the Suns demolished the best team in the Eastern Conference, a Detroit Pistons team that is they have the second best record in the NBA. This isn't just like, the Eastern Conference is weak. Like the Detroit Pistons are very good. The only team better than them is Oklahoma City, a team that the Suns have also already beaten this year. The Suns last night, I mean, a team effort, but man, I mean, we could wax about Dylan Brooks for the whole half hour of the street, what he has meant to the Phoenix Suns on T-shirt night with the stars out. I mean, what can you say about this guy? It's an understatement to say that he's changed the tide of this franchise in just 3 or 4 months.
I think it's less of what you can say about this guy and what you can't say about this guy. This Dylan Brooks, to me, it's felt like has been the cornerstone of this franchise. And while Devin Booker is the face of the franchise, he is the franchise player, it feels like the most important player to the Phoenix Suns right now is Dylan Brooks. And I
think that's 100%.
The way he has impacted the culture, I feel like Devin Booker, when he's been healthy and out there, has been playing as physical, as hard, as tough as he maybe has ever been playing in his career. This year with Dylan Brooks and the energy and the tenacity and the no BS mentality that Brooks has brought. And I feel like that's just infected to the rest of the locker room and has elevated the play of the role players too. I mean, you look at Colin Gillespie playing the best ball by far of his career. You look at Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro, like these guys are fitting into their roles. Grayson Allen has been a key role player too. I feel like everyone's finding their spot within the Jordan Knott structure of the rotation, and everyone's being pretty selfless. You don't hear about drama. It feels like an actual team that's connected. And Dylan Brooks, people say what they want. People say that,
I love
has
him.
toxic energy or
I love
whatever.
him.
I think he's the type of guy, and this has been referenced about him before, that if he's against you, you hate him, but if he's on your team, you absolutely love him. And Suns fans, clearly based on T-shirt night last night, Dylan Brooks came through, and they're absolutely loving the villain.
It's just so funny because when you go back to the Kevin Durant trade this summer, the marquee piece coming back assumed, and it may still pan out that way,
Green.
is Jalen Green, a young superstar. What was he, the second overall pick, like just 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, right behind Cade Cunningham, ironically, who they played the other night. Yeah.
And Cade Cunningham having an MVP-type season with the Pistons. But, the thought was, okay, Dylan Brooks is kind of the secondary piece in this trade, if you will, but you bring him in because you want to reset your culture and everything. I mean, he's putting up career-best numbers. You have Charles Barkley out there on Inside the NBA saying, this guy should be an all-star. And honestly, his numbers are maybe, across the board. He's not putting up, the Giannis, Shea, Luka type numbers. But what he has meant to this team and the energy he brings, people say the NBA All-Star game is soft. Don't watch it. Put Dylan Brooks in an All-Star game. He'll be staring down his opponents. I mean, Dylan Brooks will play that All-Star game. I know that voting is over and stuff, so he's probably not going to. It'd be tough for him to make it, but it would be incredible. This season, like I said, you can't overstate what he has meant, not just to the Suns, but to the fans and this fan base. It's been incredible. Another incredible turnaround, if you will, has been the ASU women's basketball team. We were both at Desert
Molly
Financial
Miller.
Arena.
How about that?
Record-breaking crowd.
6,103 fans, I believe it was. Most for a ASU U of A women's basketball game all time in Tempe.
And they beat the Cats.
They beat the Cats. Molly Miller was so fired up.
I love the clip.
If you haven't seen the video, you can check out my Twitter, or if you saw it on the air, Molly Miller's just like, this is our house. This is our house. And like,
people love the Sparky Blazer. Whoever makes that blazer,
yeah, she had a glittered, sparkling, sparky blazer on the back of her jacket, and going around high-fiving the fans. And she even said it post-game, like, with passion and enthusiasm, like, this means something. And for a first-year head coach at Arizona State to understand the meaning of a rivalry, to understand the significance, she brought in alumni to talk about this rivalry. She has a GA on her staff who played at ASU, who understand the significance. One of her players who's currently injured right now, Michaela Moore, wrote a page-long essay on the history of the ASU U of A rivalry. Like, this means something. And for that level of understanding, passion, and care to be in a first-year head coach, especially in women's basketball, it's reignited the valley around women's basketball. I mean, people I see out on the street are like asking about Molly Miller and interested in going to women's basketball games. It's really been remarkable what she's done, considering this was, a program that had really been in a tough spot over the past couple of years.
That's putting it lightly, probably.
And on a dime, Molly Miller has this program at 18 wins and only 4 losses.
You were at the show, on her coach's show again on Monday. I believe it was Promise Amukamara. I know she was one of the guests. I think she was the one that said that Charlie is kind of like, Molly is like a mini Charlie. And that's not the first time I've heard that comparison. And if you're watching this and you're a Sun Devil women's basketball fan or a basketball fan in the Valley in the last 30 years, obviously of Charlie Turner Thorne. And it is so fun watching Molly on the sideline, because it is. I mean, Charlie was coaching when I was at ASU, and it is just funny, the parallels. I mean, the passion, the energy, the fire, obviously top-notch coaching pedigree as well. But it really, and the fact that Molly has brought Charlie back in, because the last couple of years when things were kind of down for ASU women's basketball, I don't know entirely all the ins and outs, but it didn't seem like Charlie was as involved with the program as she was, obviously, when she was the figurehead of it. And now, Molly Miller comes in and you see Charlie at practice. Charlie is broadcasting some of the games on ESPN Plus again. And how much that Charlie has even talked about how honored she is that Molly has leaned on her and brought her back into the fold. I mean, this thing feels like it's, I'm not saying they're necessarily going to the Final Four, but the women's Final Four will be at Mortgage Matchup Center.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Hey, they're on track to be an NCAA tournament team.
Yeah, quick thing just to add on to that is that Charlie was actually broadcasting the game for the Territorial Cup on Wednesday, and Molly literally in her all-white blazer said that she hugged Charlie so tight that some of Charlie's makeup smeared on her sleeve, and just that close-knit connection. You'll see later on, either this week or the next week on ASU All Access, we're doing a story on Karen Sell, herself, the winningest high school girls basketball coach in Arizona history, has been here for 34 years, 12 state championships, played at ASU back in the day. And I asked her about the similarities she sees between herself, Charlie, and Molly, and she says there's a lot of similarities, and she really admires Molly for the defensive first mentality and setting the tone defensively, because that's really what has been Molly Miller's identity. It's what Charlie Turner-Thorne built her program on, and how she went on to get this program to a couple Elite Eights, to the Sweet 16s, and Self with state championships. So the winning formula has been there for Molly Miller everywhere she's gone, from Drury to GCU to now here at ASU.
Win, no matter what.
Pretty much. Yeah, you could play that on a repeat with Molly Miller.
I love to, if you watch the U of A game on Wednesday, there was a stretch in the third quarter when they came out of half where U of A, I forget the exact run, but it was like a 15-0 run or something. ASU didn't score a bucket until more than 5 minutes had elapsed in the third quarter. But they still kind of weathered the storm. When I asked Molly afterward, to your point, she said, well, we're built on defense. So we just kept saying, we need to just get a stop. There's going to be stretches in games throughout the season where we go cold on offense. But as long as we can rely on our defense, we'll get ourselves back in games. And that's exactly what happened as they took down the Wildcats. And the Wildcats will get a chance for revenge in a few weeks down in Tucson. No knock on Arizona. They were a very talented basketball team. But if Molly Miller and the Sun Devils are playing at their high level, I would imagine it should be another Sun Devil victory. But road games in the Big 12,
they're tough.
You never know.
Tough.
That's probably my bias showing.
And
a little bit
the
there.
Cats are coming to town on the men's side on Saturday.
I was gonna say we'll talk about it quickly now, and then we'll really dive into it after the break. There is kind of two levels to this in my mind. One, it's the number one ranked undefeated. The Arizona men's basketball could probably beat NBA teams. I mean, not actually, but the way the team is rolling right now, that is who comes to town tomorrow, noon tip-off at Desert Financial Arena. The other side of things, it's probably fair to say this is the last time Bobby Hurley will face the Arizona Wildcats, at least as the head coach of the Arizona State Sun. I'm not reporting this. I don't think it's unfair to say that.
He's in the final year of his contract. Things have been, going downhill a little bit based on his comments the other night. You can tell that the passion is fleeting, that he's a little deflated, a little dejected. But what's going to be fun is that they're going to be wearing James Harden edition uniforms.
I like that.
We could see James Harden make an appearance because
Clippers are in town Sunday.
It would be cool to see the Sun Devil legend back in the building. So
I say all this as a tease now. We've seen it before. And heck, they almost did it in Tucson. They took the Wildcats almost down to the wire, had them on the ropes in Tucson. If this is kind of the swan song for Bobby Hurley here in his last couple month and change as head coach of the Sun Devils, can he pull off? All right, we are back. Robby Baker, Blake Niemann, Fox 10 Talk Sports pregame.
The king cake is gone.
The king cake had disappeared and no baby found in that bite, so you don't have to buy the next one yet. But the more you eat, you're playing with fire. I think the over. My wife always jokes because we usually get a couple throughout this time of the year, and I'll have like a little piece, and the next thing you know, like within a day, it's like half gone, and then I'm like walking around the house like, oh, my tummy hurts, and my wife's like, yeah, you ate half a cake. I'm like, yeah, but they were like little bits at a time, It adds up. I digress. Before the break, we were talking Sun Devils and Wildcats because it is the number one ranked. Are they 21-0 now? 22-0?
They're undefeated.
They're undefeated. That's all we know. Is the Arizona Wildcats, Koa Pete and company, Jaden Bradley coming to Desert Financial Arena tomorrow, noon tip-off. Blake and I will be there. As we were saying right before the break, if you were watching, Little Philosophy says U of A. Assume you're a U of A fan there. Shout out in the chat. Is this an opportunity for Bobby? We've seen him pull off the upsets. He's beat Kansas, he beat Kansas at Kansas and at home in the stretch right before COVID when things were, as he said, things were humming for ASU basketball. This is, as we said, probably his last go at Arizona, unless there is some type of a matchup in the Big 12 tournament or unforeseen circumstances and he comes back next year. But being that this is the last year of Bobby Hurley's contract, let's assume that this is his last shot at facing the Arizona Wildcats. Can he pull some magic? Can this group tap into what they did in Tucson, which was a miraculous performance, 20-plus point underdogs, and they only lost by, I think it was 7 points, and the game was closer than that down the stretch. Can they do it, Blake? Convince me that this can happen. Give me the sales pitch here.
To be short, no.
That was not the sales pitch I wanted. I wanted fire. I wanted energy. I wanted channel Somali Miller, Blake. Channel Somali Miller.
Look, there's been some talented Bobby Hurley teams in the past. The Remy Martins of the world, the Lou Dorts of the world. There's been some different talented teams. The Frankie Collins, Desmond Cambridge, teams here and there.
You're just naming players that cannot play tomorrow, Blake. I need some fire. Does James Harden have any eligibility left?
If he did,
can we suit James Harden up in one of his uniforms that they're going to be wearing?
ASU could most definitely use it, and they probably would still lose. Unfortunately, look,
Blake,
this Arizona Wildcats team, like as Charles Barkley said this on TV the other night, like it's the Arizona Wildcat Invitational at this point.
They are so good.
The way they won at BYU the other night, gutsy road win, held off a really talented BYU team who might have the number one pick this upcoming draft in AJ DeMonsta.
Yeah. Yep.
But I just don't have any indication, even though the Sun Devils went to Tucson and really impressed the last time they went around. I think now that Arizona has some this year film on Bobby Hurley and company, it's going to be rough.
My counter argument is not that you're wrong. You're a very smart young man, Blake. But in the NCAA tournament, it's one game.
Yeah.
We've seen it happened, was it 2 years ago? Was it Farley Dickinson or something? The 16 seed beat Purdue.
Yeah.
The number one seed. Upsets happen.
True.
I'm holding out hope for the miraculous tomorrow. If you put them up on paper, Blake Niemann is right. If you put them up, the starting fives, 10 deep on the bench, whatever, yeah, okay, fine. Arizona's going to run away with this game.
The thing also,
I'm saying let's throw out the talent. Let's throw out the stats. Let's just hope for something crazy to happen. Let's get it. Devin Cambridge is not on the roster anymore, as you alluded to. But let's get a half-court buzzer beater. Let's get weird tomorrow at DFA. Let's have some fun here.
I'm for it. I'm for it if it happens. But my belief is that it won't. So
I'm a little scared. We're gonna be there noon tip off. Long work day, but it's exciting because this is what you live for. These big matchups, and I'm just a little nervous. By about 12:15 local time, Blake and I are gonna be like, so we're going to get pizza soon or what?
Well,
I hope that's not the case.
Because here, I feel like the
case.
last time ASU played U of A this year, they played them close. But it's like, I felt like Bobby Hurley's teams, like Bobby actually said this the other night in his rant that he went on after losing to West Virginia, that he feels like his team almost sometimes does better on the road than they do at home. Like
which is a wild
like
thing
he literally said, like, this is a sterile environment at DFA. He called it a sterile environment.
If I may counter you real quick, I think it's going to feel like a road game tomorrow.
Yes.
I believe that is going to feel.
I believe
like
there are
McHale,
more U of A
I think it's going to
fans.
feel like McHale North tomorrow, and
Yes.
that's even just saying it was an amazing crowd for the women's basketball game. There was still a lot of U of A fans there, and that's not a knock on ASU. There was a lot of U of A fans at the Territorial Cup football game. That is the nature of this rivalry. That it is. Pretty much most stadiums, whether it's football, basketball, it's like a 50-50 split. But when it comes to men's basketball and they're rolling, there's going to be a lot of red around Tempe tomorrow.
And it doesn't help when the head coach of your program literally says a sterile environment. Well, how does that encourage?
It's not
fans?
ideal.
And
it's not ideal.
That we've been abysmal at home, that we've stunk at home. Like when your coach
says he's failed,
and he says he's failed.
Don't listen
like
to him
when Bobby's saying that stuff, like from a fan perspective, like what?
I do appreciate that their next game out when they won, he did kind of. I wouldn't say
he said he was a partial idiot.
Yeah,
not a full idiot, just a partial.
Yeah, I was gonna say he did. I wouldn't say it's unfair to say he walked his comments back, but he did kind of like a little wink that was like, I kind of knew what I was doing, maybe like kind of nudging, throwing a little jab into the guys to get them fired up, and I think he also had to get something off his chest a little bit there, which he did. But
all of that seemed like genuine feelings.
Yes, and deserved. It's been and look, I'm a Bobby Hurley. I like Bobby. He's great to us. He's always great to us in the media, especially even students and everything. There's always a lot of Cronkite students that cover these things. Bobby's the best, and over a decade here in Tempe, he has done some big things. So this is like, whenever this all comes to an end for Bobby Hurley, Sun Devil fans should be appreciative of what he did and was able to accomplish here. It's just even like you said, just after COVID and all the landscape change with NIL and stuff, it was just kind of one haymaker after another where they just couldn't find their footing again. So we'll see what happens, but I'm holding out hope for something crazy tomorrow. Real quick, we'll just mention again ASU hockey coming up tonight, 7:00 puck drop, Colorado College and ASU. ASU, I don't think, no one's eliminated from the NCAA tournament right now, but getting swept at home to North Dakota does not help their case, certainly. They're under 500 now, and I believe they're in the bottom half of the NCHC standings right now as well. So, if you think back to last year, they were near the top of the standings. That's how they got to host a first-round playoff game. They made it to the semifinals of the NCHC tournament, and were basically just one game away from going to the NCAA tournament. All of the little philosophy says if ASU wins, the Wildcats could never live it down. So there you go. Shout out. They
can hang their hat on that.
They can hang their hat. Yeah, ASU they could always have this one win if ASU pulls it off tomorrow. But anyways, ASU really they really need to sweep Colorado College this weekend on the road if they really want to try to thrust themselves back into the postseason conversation. But it's not going to be easy. We talked about it last week. Jack Beck out for the season. Colin Potter out for the season. For stretches in that game against North Dakota, we were over there last weekend, Blake. For stretches of those games, ASU was there. They got the first night, they got it tied to 2-2. The second night, heck, they were up 3-0, and then they blew it, and they ended up losing. I think it was 6-3 or 6-4 or something, or 7-4. It was the second game got real sideways, but it's got to be tough for Coach Powers because this team is just so young, and the stalwarts you were banking your hat on being there as your veteran leaders and your high skill guys have just unfortunately been hurt. And these young guys, it's just hard for them to sustain. It seems like it's been hard for them to sustain when these top teams that they're going up against every night in this conference, they're used to this and they're used to bringing it for 60 minutes Friday and Saturday. And it just seems like it's been hard with the injuries for Coach Powers to get this young team to that level in this last couple weeks.
Yeah. And in this situation, like you said, when you're able to get out to a 3-0 lead or able to score goals, multiple goals, Powers is talking about this post game. It's like when we score that many goals, we have to find a way to win. And at this point, they are down two of their best offensive players in Colin Potter and Jack Beck. But so in turn, those are your best offense players. But defensively, you still have a lot of your defensemen and your goalie. So it's like you got to find a way to have better defense to be able to counter these offensive teams. And because if you're able to score still without your top goal scorers against one of the best teams in the country like North Dakota, you got to find a way to cinch up that defense.
And it was the first game specifically, it was more just kind of mental errors. It seemed like for what Coach Powers said afterward. It was just guys leaving the front of the net open, not knowing their assignments at key moments, and when you're playing the team, when you're playing a team like North Dakota, I mean, we were even saying watching it was like ASU was doing everything they could, and they'd get it back to a 1-goal deficit. They'd tie the game, and then in the second, North Dakota was like, all right, well, we'll just go score again. And then they'd score, and it was like, oh, we did all that work to get it back. And North Dakota's just so good. But ASU, we'll see what happens tonight. 7 o'clock puck drop, and you can watch it here on Fox 10. We'll have a special 6:30 to 7 Rolling with Richard RV pregame show. Unfortunately, we're not in an RV this time. It's kind of a wrinkle on the show because ASU is in Colorado, and I'm sure Richard wanted to drive an RV to Colorado, but
that would have been fun.
The logistics is very difficult, So we'll be the Rolling with Richard tailgate party will be kind of in-house tonight. But hey, maybe we'll break out some King
We'll hear from Greg Powers, hear from Molly Miller. We'll watch Robby on the skates.
Yeah, I think we're breaking out some more of the skating footage. I feel like every time, somebody in the office wants me to find more of the skating footage, I feel like somebody's waiting for me to unveil something where I do something ridiculous and fall over. And I didn't. I held my own a little bit. So I apologize to everybody.
We need a part 2. We need a follow-up.
I'm always happy to get back out there.
But I might need some new skates, though.
I definitely need new skates. It's not in our current household budget, but maybe I'll throw a
down the line,
birthday present someday or Christmas. I'll get back out there. You'll understand someday once you have kids and stuff.
I suck at skating, so I'm not.
Well, any hobby of pre-married, pre-kids, it's hard to some of that stuff, especially with ice time. Yeah, it's very hard to get out
I hear an excuse.
Men's league hockey at 9 o'clock at night, somewhere. But hey, someday maybe I'll relive the glory days. But we got about a minute left. The Cardinals still don't have a coach. I don't think they're going to be finding a coach probably till after the Super Bowl. Kubiak is right now. It's the Raiders and the Cardinals is what they're saying.
What's more attractive?
The Raiders.
Yeah.
You get the number 1 pick.
You're
getting Mendoza. You got Ashton Genty. You already got Brock Bowers.
That's true.
The Raiders are kind of a more brand, if you will, than the Cardinals.
That's true. Raiders. Cardinals.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds real different. Cardinals really took a.
There's not like a. I don't know. There's not like a macho.
Yeah, it's like the